What is up, A-Team? Welcome back. AuzSOME here. Hope everyone's having an awesome day. So we're here to talk again more about crypto. And today we're going to really talk about the RWAs, the real world asset cryptos that are out there. These things are probably some of the most talked about cryptos now because of where it's going. And I think it's important that we continually elaborate on what these are, what they're going to do for the space, and what actually the tokens that you or coins you should be looking at, because these are a lot of the ones that we talk about on the channel here. And I think it's great to know. And so it says these RWA tokens may skyrocket as SEC hosts the roundtables on tokenization. And some of you might not even know what real world assets are. So here I'm going to have an AI overview for you. And it says the real world assets refer to a physical or financial asset like real estate, commodities, and bonds that are tokenized and represented on a blockchain. This process, known as tokenization, allows for greater liquidity, fractional ownership, and global accessibility of these assets. So this is a really, this is probably one of the most talked about, I guess you could say, one of the most talked about things out there in crypto right now. Again, the RWAs bring traditional assets into the digital realm, and that's really what you want. You want to own a piece of something that's digitalized. Maybe you would have ownership in a building across the globe that you now, because it's tokenized, so now you own those tokens, which means that you technically own an asset or you are part ownership in that asset. I mean, that's kind of where this is. And it says the core concept is converting tangible or intangible assets into digital tokens that could be on the blockchain and then be owned by random people on the blockchain that want to own it, right? That's kind of what it is. And so this always leads me back to like the NFT thing, because NFTs kind of got me into the whole real world assets. And everyone was talking about basically tokenizing or using things as an NFT in the real world, like taking a house and actually using it as an NFT, or an NFT would be the house, and or your license and or credit card. I mean, there's so many things that you can actually use as an NFT, but the NFT craze has gone literally nowhere. Everyone's basically stopped using NFTs. No one talks about NFTs anymore, unfortunately, but that's just kind of where it's gone. And a lot of things going into, well, let's tokenize these assets and allow people to buy the tokens. That's kind of what the RWA stand for here. And so when you're starting to look at this, this is like the new craze of 2025 is RWAs. And so you'll hear a lot of this out there. What is the RWA? What are the RWA tokens? What are they for? All this kind of stuff. Well, the good thing here is that if CoinGape actually put out a pretty good article on this today, talking about how the SEC is viewing these things, and a lot of them, the SEC is actually on board with a lot of these RWAs. And the biggest ones right here is you got Link, so Chainlink is out there, which is huge. You got AVAX or Avalanche, you got Stellar, Hedera, and Ondo. These are the big ones right here. It says the SEC Tokenization Roundtable, which actually happened today. The roundtable will particularly focus on the tokenization applications as a financial instrument for institutional investors. This roundtable features a diverse lineup of participants, from BlackRock, the NASDAQ, Fidelity, Robinhood. All these people are actually on here. So the Crypto Task Force is really trying to come together and figure out a way of how these RWA tokens and or how the RWAs are going to work for institutions. That's really what it comes down to here. And so it says panel 1, the evolution of finance, and then there's the panel 2, which is the future of tokenizations. That's what they're all talking about here. But just realize that that is like the number one topic across everywhere, dude. You'll hear it across all platforms. You'll have influencers talking about it. You got the White House talking about it. You got the Crypto Task Forces talking about it. This is kind of the next evolution to the financial sector, is to tokenize real world assets. So who's leading this, right? Who's actually leading the charge in providing this for these institutions? And so, as you guys know, Chainlink is the number one, probably because they have the most in terms of market cap here, but they're the most notable here. So obviously, we've been buying Chainlink for quite some time now. Chainlink has done very, very well. It came down really, really low here in January and February. Now it's bouncing back really, really nicely. As you can see, 35.19% over the past few days, weeks, and months. So you can see the pricing has come up significantly over Chainlink, but the overall I guess the overall reason why you want to hold Chainlink is because it's in something that's going to be at the top of the RWA token list here. The next one is AVAX. I do not actually own AVAX. Again, it's been around for a really long time. People love AVAX. It's a really good blockchain, but I just don't own it. But it's the second largest in terms of RWA tokens by market cap. And you can see this is actually up pretty good as well. But again, people are bullish on, I'm just not as bullish on AVAX as other people are. Nothing against AVAX, just not my thing. However, Stellar and HBAR are my two other, large cryptocurrency bags that I have. So Chainlink, Stellar, Hedera, those are one of my three largest ones that I have here. And they're all on the list here to actually be, part of the RWA tokens here. Another one, last one right here is Ondo. Obviously, we've been purchasing Ondo as well. Our Ondo, at first I was kind of like, I don't really, how I feel about Ondo. Then I ended up getting into it. Again, a lot of it has to do with it being part of the RWA token list here. And we've been investing in this for months, right? And it's a fairly new crypto to the space for the most part. It hasn't been around all that long. So this will be its first bull run, which could be positive and negative. So we don't really know how far Ondo is going to go in terms of price. But the trading volume has actually been good over the last several months. It's declined recently, but for the most part, Ondo is working its way back up. And we're going to actually look at the charts here because I think it's important that you guys actually get a good visualization of where these tokens are, because where they were here in when the start of November happened to where they're at now, there's a lot of room to grow. So as you can see right here, this is the peak of where it was in January, right before inauguration. This thing came down really high, almost at 12 cents for H bar. Now it's back up today, right now sitting around 21. So there's a lot of room to actually grow back on this RWA token. Another one here is XLM. You can see XLM peaked right here at 68 cents or 63 cents, fell all the way down to 20 cents. Now it's sitting here about 31 cents. So again, a lot of room to grow back just off this cycle alone, how much was lost right there. The next one is Ondo. You can see Ondo right here, again, sitting here around $2.14. And this is the first one. This chart actually looks really, really bullish to me for Ondo. And you can see it went all the way down to 67, and now it's worked its way back up over the dollar mark here. So there's still a lot of room to grow. These are your top cryptos we're talking about here. This is the number one. These are the number one assets that the White House, the Crypto Task Force, all these institutions are talking about are any crypto that is actually related to real world assets or wanting to work in the RWA area, because that's what's going to help tokenize a lot of these assets out in the real world. So these are the ones you want to be in. And then last but not least is Chainlink. Look at Chainlink, dude. This thing was all the way up to $31. This thing fell all the way down to roughly $10 right here. And now it's bounced back up to 16. This was such a good opportunity here because these are all top tier cryptos. We're talking all within the top 15 in terms of market caps. So you're not it's not like you're jumping into a meme coin here. You're jumping into cryptos that actually are going to be utilized to some capacity. They're going to be able to tokenize these assets. This is the whole goal. I mean, you can see right here, you got you got AVAX right here sitting around 13, Chainlink sitting around 12, Stellar at 14, Hedera here at 16, and I think Ondo is probably your furthest one down the list. Ondo, I think, is sitting around 35. So this actually, in terms of market cap, has your biggest growth right now. So this is probably your biggest risk to reward is Ondo in all reality, because they have the smallest market cap. And again, we know that their focus is RWA. Like that's what they're known for. So again, you have to take your risk reward here. But these things are going to be here. They're going to be here for probably a long time. I mean, you got these people talking about them. You got these. You got the White House out here that are trying to find ways to utilize them. So any of the cryptos that are in the RWAs are the ones you actually want to be in this cycle. This is the buzzwords. This is the NFT word. So in 2021, NFTs were like the buzzword. Everyone's getting into NFTs. Now the buzzword is RWA. So you got to find the cryptos that are actually going to be used as RWAs, because those are the ones that are probably going to have a lot of institutional money come into them so they can buy up assets. So that's really what you want to look at. Again, I'm in all these except AVAX, and probably should go out there and put some into AVAX. I just haven't yet. It's just not as sexy to me as some of these other ones. But I digress. So let me know your thoughts. Are you in any of these RWAs? Do you support the RWA push? And I want to hear your thoughts. So please leave any questions, comments, or concerns down below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And with all that said, we're out. Peace out, everyone.